Minnesota Twins beat the A's in extra innings tonight. They win their third in a row. We're breaking it all down. It's coming up next on the Locked On Twins POSTCAST.
You are Locked On Twins POSTCAST, part of Locked On Minnesota on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up? What's up? Back in the lab, back at it. Another Minnesota Twins POSTCAST episode right here on the Locked On Sports Minnesota Network. You got myself, Luke Inman, at Luke_Spinman. That's the man. He's back. Sweet Lou Hennesey, Twins expert over at Zone Coverage MN. He's on X at Sweet Lou MN. And Lou, before we jump into all the action from tonight, quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, man. Twins versus A's, game 2. Woods Richardson on the mound. Kind of rocky start for him today. Couple walks in the top of the first leads to a grand slam to kick things off. All of a sudden, you look up at the scoreboard, top of the first, Twins down 4-0 right out the gate. They scratch and claw their way back, though. This was a good game. Buxton RBI triple in the second. Max Kepler ties things back up in the 6th with a 3-run bomb. Then things started to get really dramatic at the end. Twins down 1 in the bottom of the 8th. Bases loaded. Carlos Santana walks. That scores Correa to tie things back up. Then we go to extras. Johan Duran does the dirty work. Ring him up, sit him down. Max Kepler delivers the game-winning RBI single in the 10th inning. Twins with their third in a row. They've won 5 out of their last 6 now, and they are now 38-32 on the year. As always, just kick us off. Biggest takeaways, kind of your A topics from game 2 versus Oakland. This was a fun one, man.
Yeah, first of all, I got to get out of here soon. I'm on stage with Flo Rida in like 5 minutes here, so let's keep this from.
Let's go, baby. Okay, you got backstage passes. Okay,
exactly. Yeah, it was a great game. It was fantastic to watch this one. It's nice to see them, like you said, claw back at it. I think there's going to be some criticism that it's against the Oakland A's. There's nothing to sniff at, but you know what? They were facing one of the best relievers in the game in Mason Miller right now.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was an easy path to get there. So I think this is going to be one that Max Kepler especially remembers for a long time, with his game-tying 3-run shot, then getting a shot of his own in the elbow there. He got hit by a pitch and it looked pretty shaky there for a little bit, but it's nice to see him come back and get that game-winning hit against a lefty.
Yeah, he feels like one of these hometown hero kind of guys who's been around so long that you always love to root for him. Kind of goes hot and cold once in a while, but man, when he's hot, boy, he can really do some damage. So in a game like this, where your starter only goes 4 innings, and I do want to touch on Simeon Woods Richardson here in a second, but when your starter only goes 4 innings and you're trying to erase a 4-run deficit pretty much right out the gate, and then you get all those late inning dramatics as well. How huge is it to have a bullpen that can come in and only allow 1 run the rest of the way between, I'm talking Cole Sands, Griffin Jacks, Strawmount, and then Johan Duran in the 9th and the 10th. That felt like the glue. That felt like that group felt like the real MVP tonight, was it not?
They might be the unsung hero.
Yeah.
They absolutely performed tonight, and it's one that would be a true heartbreaker if they were to have lost this game, because they would use so many of their top arms and maybe not be available tomorrow. So it's really good to get the W at the end of this one, especially using all the guys exactly how they're intended to be used, to get outs, get big outs in close games.
I'm just going to read off some numbers here. You tell me what they are. 11, 5, 4, 17, 6, and 6. What are those numbers?
Is it on a fortune cookie message on the back of it for your lucky number?
That's the second best guess I would have thought. Yeah, it's how many runs they've scored though the last 6 games. 11, you got 17 in there, so they're averaging over 8 runs per game all of a sudden. And I know, I get it. That 17-run game, it inflates things a little bit, but I mean, Correa, Royce Lewis, I know he had the night off tonight, but even Buxton's bat is coming alive again. He had that triple. Kepler, huge night, as you mentioned. Which guy has the most pressure, I should say, to start delivering on all these guys. And I guess, like, what else has stuck out the most when it comes to this kind of offensive surge they've had as of late?
Sure, everybody seems to be buzzing together, which is great to see. We've seen 3 games now where there's just been an onslaught of singles. It seems like that kind
Yeah.
of scratched through. We saw, a couple big home run tonight, which helps. But a lot of singles, a lot of putting the ball in play, which was a big criticism of this lineup. Kind of in the opening weeks and kind of coming into the years, they had a reputation of swinging freely and striking out a lot. We're kind of seeing it kind of trend the other way now. Like you said, it's good to have them buzzing together. As far as who's kind of the most pivotal to keep the party going here, I gotta say it's Buxton. He had gone through a pretty cold stretch, as is to be expected from him at this point. But it's nice to see him in the upswing now and to see how long he can sustain kind of the high end of that.
I'm just genuinely curious when you say kind of what we expect now from Buxton. Is that just kind of where the bar has been set at for Byron Buxton, that we just don't really expect a 30 home run, 100 RBI guy anymore at this stage in his career?
He could get back to that point by all means, but I'm just kind of going off the last 2 years of performance that we've seen of him, which is when he's hot, he's really hot, and he's somebody you want in the heart of your lineup there. And when he's cold, it can be pretty difficult for extended periods of time. So, that he can change that reputation. People change, people adjust, but that's just kind of where he's been at the last couple of years. And probably where it should be until he proves us wrong.
No, you're right. Well said there. Let's unpack Woods Richardson's day here real quick. 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned, 4 walks, 4 Ks, 80 pitches on the day. Listen, hey, hate the 4 walks. That's what really sticks out the most. But end of the day, it was one swing of the bat that did the brunt of the damage and kind of spoiled his day when he gave up that grand slam, obviously, in the first inning. So I guess what wasn't working today from what you saw that we've gotten kind of used to for him being so effective, because he's been such a major, major bright spot for this rotation this season?
Sure. Yeah. Like you said, the trickiest part was just that first inning for him, especially the grand slam, obviously. But what's almost more concerning to see from him is the 2 walks. It's not something you expect to see from him the first 2 at-bats of the game. Right. But it was nice to see him kind of straighten out. He had, I think it was 36, 37 pitch first inning, and then kind of straightened out for a little bit after that. So that was good to see him recover and, find a way to execute when maybe his slider didn't have the same snap that it has the last few games that we've seen from Sim.
Yeah, good breakdown there. Rocco report time. Favorite, least favorite move, decision, whatever it may be from today's game. Game 2 versus Oakland. The Rocco report. It says what?
I think a lot of people really wanted to see Rocco put a pinch hitter in the last inning there for Max Kepler, have Royce Lewis come up for the heroics. Ooh. Now, in hindsight, we can see it was a good choice to keep Max in there, and I'm also just happy that Rocco held off on bringing Royce earlier in the game, because it would be really electric to see him face Mason Miller, 102, 103 miles per hour against Royce Lewis. But if we're trying to keep Royce healthy, and that's the point of him not starting tonight, you really want him coming in and facing 102 off, coming in relatively cold, so to speak. So I like that he kind of stuck to his plan of keeping Royce out tonight, if that's how it has to be going, for however long it takes to get him back to fully healthy.
Yeah, feels like you kind of get the double dip here. You get the win in extras, and you got to give Royce Lewis a complete night off, which has got to feel pretty good going into this next stretch of home games here. All right, don't go anywhere. Plenty more deep dive from this one. Plus, we got our nerdy stat of the day. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to you by Game Time, because you should never have to worry when buying tickets to any big event. That's why Game Time, it's the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to any local event. I'm talking about concerts, comedy shows, sporting events, even Broadway theater. And with killer last-minute deals and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. One of my favorite summer hobbies, heading to Target Field for a Twins game. Last year alone, we went to at least 6 different games, in Game Time made it so easy every time with just a click of the button, and gave us that extra peace of mind that we were always getting the best deals possible. So it's time to take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. See for yourself just how easy it is. Create an account. Use code LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Again, just create any new account and redeem your code LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time, terms apply. Okay, touched on this yesterday, but Kirilloff sent down, Austin Martin called up. Just your quick thoughts, right? Your 2 cents, knee-jerk reaction. What can Martin kind of bring to the table defensively and at the plate for Rocco?
Yeah, I was surprised to see Martin be the call up. He's earned it by just his stats that from AAA from since he was sent down. So I have no problem with it. And you're right, he adds kind of a different layer of a little speed, a little bit of put the ball in play that you like from the bottom of a lineup. But he's still kind of a work in progress when it comes to fine-tuning his game defensively. I really figured that another left-handed hitter was going to come up, maybe Matt Wallner or someone. So, but I'm excited to see what Martin can do. It was great to see him on second base to start off that 10th inning tonight and score on a single. So he brings some good speed to the lineup, that's for sure.
So you said you were surprised a little bit. Were you more surprised, are you saying, by the fact that it was Austin Martin called up or the fact that Kirilloff went down? And I guess, too, follow up to that, what's Kirilloff got to do to get back up here sooner than later?
Sure. Yeah, no, it was not a surprise to see Kirilloff get sent to AAA. He just needs a reset. I'm not sure if he's dealing with something physically. He hasn't alluded to that fact, at least this year so far. But when he's gone cold in the past, it seems to be some sort of lingering issue in his wrist that he's had a couple surgeries on. So I'm hoping it's not something injury related. Maybe it's just a different mindset that he needs. Maybe it's he was fishing a lot for pitches out of the zone, especially low. So that's something that he's going to need to work on if he wants to come back up and play a significant role for a contending team.
Yeah, I said this to CJ last night, but if I were to tell you, back in April, right? By the middle of June, was it June 14th, that Ed Julian and Kirilloff, and then you can even throw guys like Matt Wallner in there, would all be sent down, not because of injuries, but just because of overall play. I mean, sure. What would the first thought be? What would you have said? What would your reaction been when you hear those big names?
Shocking. That's three significant people from the left side that they were really counting on coming into this season. At least, maybe not all three of them being locks for the stellar performance that we've seen from them in flashes in the past. But, now they're down to Max Kepler and Trevor Larnach as true lefties that you can really trust in this lineup. They have Willie Castro and Carlos Santana who are switch hitters. But, it's pretty crazy to see. The good news is that Matt Wallner has started to really turn things around in AAA, and I think he's gunning for a promotion in the near future here as soon as the opportunity presents itself.
Nerdy stat of the day time, one of my favorite segments, I could even say, on the postcast. Nerdy stat of the day. Give us some sort of crazy stat or fun analytic. Twins related, of course. What do you got today, locked and loaded? Lay it on us. Sure.
So Simeon Woods Richardson, he's had a really successful stretch, especially when it comes to using his slider. His slider since his debut this year is the third best in all of baseball, behind only Tanner Houck and former Twin Zach Littell, who's starting for the Tampa Bay Rays. And so it's really interesting to see that Simeon, I'm pretty sure that the grand slam he gave up was off of his slider, which has been a huge pitch for him so far.
Love it. All right, don't go anywhere. We got to preview Game 3 versus Oakland, plus the next 4 or 5 games coming up on this homestand. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode also brought to us by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sportsbook partner of the MLB. Right now, playoff time in the NBA and NHL, not to mention baseball, obviously, in full swing. That means FanDuel is your #1 place to be to bet on all the action. Right now, new customers, check this out. You're getting $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Plus, you can bet on everything at FanDuel, from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks. They literally got it all on the app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make your first bet a huge win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook and official sportsbook partner of the MLB. All right, game 3 tomorrow. Bailey Ober on the mound versus Joey Estes. He's 2-2 on the year, 4.78 ERA. Fill us in on that matchup, what the scouting report looks like, not just for tomorrow maybe, but like these next 5 games at home. You got 2 more versus Oakland and then 3 versus Tampa. What kind of sticks out the most here? What are you thinking about when it comes to this Twins team and these last 5 home games?
Yeah, it would be huge for Bailey Ober to go deep into the ball game tomorrow. Of course,
Okay.
that's the mission every single start for every single starter. But this is a stretch with very few off days that they've had, and the bullpen has been ridden pretty hard, especially tonight, doing a fantastic job. And last night we saw Griffin Jacks come in and throw some major pitches, get some major outs in key spots. That's 2 nights in a row for him. So chances are he's not going to be able to pitch tomorrow. Johan Duran, who knows if he's going to be able to pitch after throwing tonight. So it's important that Bailey Ober can get out there and stretch himself out again. He's had a little bit of a up and down stretch recently.
I asked CJ this last night as well, but think back to the beginning of the year, right? Tell me the one thing you've been most surprised about this team compared to your preseason expectations, okay? Like, could be a specific player, a certain team stat, whatever it may be, and for good or bad, really. First thing that comes to mind was, what is it? CJ, by the way, he brought up Simeon Woods Richardson.
Okay.
In a good way, obviously. Obviously, not the guy that you maybe want to mention today after this start, but I mean, jokes aside, the guy's been stellar this year. But
Sure.
First thing that comes to mind that's just surprised you the most about this team thus far?
Oh boy. Surprising, I guess, just that we haven't seen Pablo Lopez kind of turn
Yeah.
back into the
Yep.
ace that we kind of expected him to be yet. It's still early. It's just he had a stretch last year too where he went through some challenges, but he's given up a lot of long balls this year, and his sweeper, which was just so awesome last year, has it seems the hitters have made their adjustments to that pitch, and it doesn't have the same effect that it did last year. So that's been most surprising for me. Then again, it wouldn't surprise me if he turns it around starting in his next start. So who knows?
Did we get your thoughts on the New City Connect jerseys they unveiled yet? I can't remember. Well, let me ask you this: what did you like more, the unveiling of those jerseys or Prince night last night, seeing Carlos Correa in the Prince vest, the fedora, playing the little blow-up guitar?
Yep.
Which ones you like more?
I was at the park last night, and when Carlos put that on, I for some reason I was immediately drawn to it. I was like, new celebration, there it is. And so it was fun to see that and to hear them talk about it after the game a little bit. I think it was Pablo Lopez's doing. He kind of had that idea and sprung for it and had it made. And I think he wanted it to begin the season actually, but there was got lost or delayed for some reason, and so they just got it luckily in time for Prince night. So I like that a lot more than I like the City Connect uniforms. I think they're fine. I don't hate them by any means. I'm not a fan of the solid blue colored pants. I think the jersey would really come together if they had white pants with these electric blue tops. I think that would look really good, but maybe I'll get used to it. Who knows? And especially if they keep having walk-off wins in them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's fair, though. I mean, they've taken a little bit of criticism. I mean, anything new right away is kind of fun. All right, it's different. You got 162 games. Okay, nice to switch it up a little bit, have some more options. But certainly, I think all in all, the feedback has been, all right, kind of cool. Is what it is. Nothing
see how they play.
Enough. Not the best, whatever. Yeah, see how they play, for sure. One last quick one before we get out of here. Last night, I asked CJ, is the Twins celebration from Dune, right? Where they put the forearm over the head. He couldn't confirm, but I got confirmation this morning from my guy, Tommy Guns, aka Tom Schreier, your boss over there at Zone Coverage. So he was all over it. Apparently, yes, that is where they got that from, the Dune franchise. Again, I mentioned it last night. Not a big sci-fi guy. Dune 1, it was all right. Dune 2, though, man, I loved it. 8.3 out of 10. I don't know if you saw it yet. Go check it out. Yeah, over on, I think it's streaming on Max right now, HBO Max. Okay. So if you haven't checked it out, if nothing else, you got to check it out just so you can enjoy this celebration a little bit more when the Twins do bust that out. So that was awesome. All right, Twins win their third. Yeah, go ahead. Any comments on the celebration itself from Dune? What do you got?
Pretty sure that source from Carlos Correa. I think he's the guy who kind of got that going because he's a huge sci-fi guy.
Is he really? Okay, so he probably goes nuts for the Star Wars Day, right? May 4th. May the
Huge.
4th be with you. Okay, that's Carlos's thing. He's the sci-fi guy. All right.
Yep.
Twins win their third in a row in extras tonight. 2 more with Oakland on deck. Bailey Ober again. He's on the mound tomorrow. First pitch for that one, 1:10 p.m. As always, huge shout out to everybody that joined us on the stream tonight. Rest assured, we'll be back each and every game right here to break it all down. Got to make sure you go check out all of Lou's work on X at Sweet Lou MN, plus all the work he's always ripping up over at ZoneCoverageMN.com as well. Haven't talked to you in a few days. Anything new you want to go plug over there? Anything new we can go check out that you've been working on that's just dropped recently or is going to drop, Twins related, of course?
Yeah, I had something come out tonight, just looking at the idea that the Twins, if they do decide to be sellers at the trade deadline, they have an intriguing mix of top young prospects and kind of secondary players to make something good happen. Potentially. Who knows if they'll get to that decision point.
I love it. Awesome. You know that'll be one of the hot A topics here over the next few weeks for sure. That trade deadline creeping up. That's awesome. Can't wait to check that out. And if it's not too much trouble, as always, go like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Help us get to 8,000 subscribers. We're so close now. That's always much, much appreciated as well. All right. That'll do it for us tonight. Sweet Lou Hennessey. I'm Luke Inman on Twitter at Luke_Spinman. We'll see you next time. But until then, signing out.